Hey guys, Officer Pierce here. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer video. Put my eyes on so I can see. I'm not an attorney. I'm not practicing law. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm just giving you information that I've had available during the time that I was a USCIS officer. Some of this is just things that people have asked me about. And so I've done research that's just public research. It's not anything that's private research or nothing that's, sorry, let me rephrase that. It's nothing that comes from being an officer, but having information about it as an officer. But anyway, so you obtained your resident status. Now you're about to apply for citizenship, but you don't want to lose your current country's citizenship. Can you do anything about it? Well, it kind of depends on the country. Some countries offer dual citizenship. Some countries don't. Some countries don't offer it, but have some stipulations that allow it. So let's kind of go over this. So what are some of the advantages of having a dual citizenship? So some of them are positive things like travel. So when you travel to another country, let's say the United Kingdom, you have a passport that's a UK passport. So you may not necessarily go through as much screening. So the countries that allow dual citizenship, they're in no particular order. And this is just a search that I've done in May of 2025. So if you're seeing this in April of 2028, this may have changed. So you need to do a little bit of your own research. So the countries that allow dual citizenship, and this is not a list that is all-encompassing. It's just some of them that I have been able to find. So Ireland, Italy, France, Germany, Spain, Greece, Hungary, Portugal, Switzerland, Denmark, Iceland, Romania, Czech Republic, Mexico, and others. So some of the countries that do not allow dual citizenship: China, Japan, Oman, Togo, North Korea, UAE, Austria, Singapore, India, Malaysia, Iran, Kuwait, and Laos. And there are others. The list of ones that don't allow it is fairly lengthy. So for like China and Japan, the minute you become a U.S. citizen, you are required to give up your citizenship for those two countries. Oops, sorry. Okay, so if you're a citizen of China and you become a U.S. citizen or a citizen of any other country, they automatically lose your China citizenship. Okay, so I have a note here that says for Japan, if you become, oh, okay. So for Japan, if you become a Japanese citizen, you need to renounce other country citizenships. But as a Japanese citizen and become a U.S. citizen, you do not necessarily need to renounce your Japanese citizenship. So if you become a citizen of Japan, you need to renounce all your other citizenships. You become a U.S. citizen, you don't necessarily have to renounce your Japanese citizenship. Again, the list I've given you is not a total list about dual citizenship. It's just really basic. If you have whatever country you are, you could do a Google search or contact your local area government. So now some countries do allow dual that generally do not allow it. If the person has extraordinary achievements of and it serves the country's interest, then the country may not require you to forgo your citizenship. If you're married to a citizen of that country, you may not necessarily have to give up your citizenship to that country. If your dual citizenship was obtained at birth, then not always do you have to give up to it. Also consult that country to see what their current rules are. If you're a British citizen, they will see you as... Okay, never mind. The U.S. law allows for dual citizenship, but expresses concerns about it as it has issues that can come up, and military and taxes are possible conflicting obligations. Some of the advantages of dual citizenship: you can go to your home country without having to deal with a visa. Countries will allow you to travel on your old passport compared to a U.S. passport. But you still have to have your U.S. passport with you, because when you return back to the U.S., you have to show that passport. You cannot show a British or any other country's passport as a U.S. citizen. Possible tax burdens, depending on the country involved. You might have different obligations on other countries with taxes. So by having a dual citizenship, you might be able to claim Social Security in both countries. You would need to check with Social Security for that country and the U.S. to determine if they could claim both at the same time. So if you worked in another country and had enough Social Security that when you got to retirement age that you could collect your Social Security, then that may be a possibility. Property ownership will sometimes will be something that you might be able to do. I know in Mexico that if you are looking to have property from, let's say, you come up here and you get your residence and then you get your citizenship, that and your parents or you still have relatives in Mexico, that you would have to maintain... I'm recording and what? What? Quickly, because I'm recording. What? Okay. You could have told me that when you got home, but okay, cool. Let me get back to my... That's okay. Okay, let me get back to my recording, please. Yes, bye. Okay. So yeah, if you have a parent that has Mexican property, you do have to have dual citizenship to own that property. Now, I know for a while Mexico did not allow dual citizenship, but I understand as of recent, they are allowing dual citizenship. And you should check with the Mexican consulate. There's one in Santa Ana, I think it's off of 4th Street, that will give you better details of what specifically you need to do and declaiming your citizenship. So in some countries that has social medicine, if you need a surgery, it could be much cheaper than if you had to do one here in the U.S. I know when I was working at USCIS that I had more than one person that want to travel on what's called an advanced parole, because they had things pending to go get surgery and dental work, like in Mexico. I know one gentleman that the surgery he was going to need for dental here in the U.S. was about $28,000. Him going to Mexico and getting the same surgery, it was only, I think it was like $3,000. So there was a significant difference there. So sometimes having a dual citizenship can get you things that are like serious medical, dental type work done for considerably less. Cons for having dual citizenship, something we've already spoke about, which is taxes. You may be required to file taxes both in your home country and also in the U.S. So it could mean that you have to pay both that country and the U.S. taxes. Also, too, by having dual citizenship, if you are in a country that has military mandates, most likely not, because most of the countries that have military mandates don't allow dual citizenship. China, Kuwait, and a couple others that don't allow for dual citizenship, but do have mandates for military service. You could, depending on the work you do, you could increase suspicions based on the country you're from. In some countries, you may have restrictions for work, for federal jobs or military work for that country as a U.S. citizen, or on the other side here, working as a U.S. citizen in that type of work. Depending on the country that you came from, you could have an issue. No one that I have heard of has denied somebody that has dual citizenship as far as their entry. It just they have to go through the regular process to get to do that. So if you need to discuss laws and regulations, how they play a role in your dual citizenship, you can contact counsel on that side of it. There's attorneys all over, like Santa Ana and some of the other areas here in Orange County. And also there's an attorney website that I've listed in my bio that would be helpful. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see what I can do to give you an answer. Thanks. Bye.